Hi everybody, it's Dr. Sarah again, and I want to welcome you to another quick video, which is on my latest post of a cultural and mind-body perspective on health, hormones, and specifically menopause. I just want to give you a brief overview on this very cold, blustery October day. I am layered. It is freezing in New York, New England area. So that for those of you who read it and got a little bit confused because I went into some big terms, you can kind of get the condensed version and listen in audio. So initially in part one, I went over how the mind and the body affect our experience and impact our health. Specifically, I highlighted studies that explored the concept of the interactions between our environment, our food, and our social relationships, and how those actually interact with our genes and affect the functioning of our cells. Now, this is the science of epigenetics, nutrigenomics, and sociogenomics, which is just a big fancy way of saying all of that in the study of how what we do and what we experience from the outside actually affects our cellular metabolism from the inside out, which is pretty cool. And this means that we have way more control over our health than what initially was believed, that our genes were our destiny, because they're not. We now know that a lot of our health and what we experience is based on lifestyle and the choices that we make every day. And some of the biggest things that affect us from the outside are actually our thoughts and our social connections. And a lot of integrative health docs aren't necessarily giving this topic that much perspective or, as much airtime and news as, say, food and lifestyle. But here's the thing. Social relationships are the #1 indicator of cardiovascular mortality rates, right? Isolation. And placebo effect is huge. We should be using this for our advantage. They know that when they set up placebo-controlled studies, we have to control for the fact that belief is going to affect the outcome of the study, whether it be positive or negative. So thoughts can kind of be things. Isn't that neat? So what we expect and what we believe is going to affect our cellular environment. If I say something is stressful, like if I yell fire right now, everybody will be on the alert and their whole biochemistry will shift. And these stress hormones are going to affect how your cells function. If you're bathing your cells in stress or if you're bathing your cells in calm, there's going to be a different health outcome, right? And how the cell functions and nourishes you. Now let's bring this back to hormones. We know that stress impacts hormones. I've gone through ad nauseum that in previous videos and posts. And I'll link some resources for you either in this post or if you're watching the video on the video. But menopause is actually related to the symptoms that we experience is now shown to be related to, I should say, because there's actually evidence-based medicine here I'm talking about, our perception and our cultural beliefs. So in America, a lot of women expect to go through menopause, hot flashes, and when their, hormones shift, to go through all this havoc. And, there's probably some physical reasons for that with our environment and our diet and the stress that we're under. But there's also cultural perceptions and belief patterns. And what I did in this latest blog, I linked some studies that show that different cultures experience these hormonal shifts in different ways, and it's based on their perception. So, for example, in Japan, they didn't even have a word for hot flash until recently. They actually experienced cold flushes with hormone shifts. So it all depends on what we believe, and this affects our experience, hence the placebo effect. But let's bring that to how we experience our health. Let me bring this to how I use it in my practice. First of all, lifestyle, nourishment, they're very important. But the mind and the body are just as important, and it may be found to be more important later on as we do more research. I love to use essential oils, you guys all know that, because they give us drops of superpower epigenetic changes in our cells by affecting our physiological, psychological, and biochemical processes in our body at the same time. So they affect our mind, calm our stress, and this is going to affect our perceptions, whether you're thinking from the fight or flight, quote-unquote, old reptilian brain, or able to process through your executive center. That'll all shift just with a scent of an aroma, plus you get the biochemical modulators in there as the secondary metabolites. Pretty cool. But let me also say that your beliefs and your perceptions of if the essential oil is going to work in the first place and what you expect from the health outcomes when someone works with me is just as important. I always tell my clients that if I ever am telling you something and you don't feel right with your body, please don't do it, because then I'm 50% in the hole, right? I'm going to look bad because I'm already dealing with a 50% belief that it's not going to work. And to overcome that, I have to do 200% more. It's bad math. I'm not a good mathematician, but I love biochemistry, so please forgive me. So that's the take-home message. There's my tongue twister. So I hope you take some time to look at the post and just kind of contemplate how your perception, belief, and expectations and our cultural imprinting is affecting your health outcomes. Do you believe you can be happy, healthy, and joyous? Or do you think and sigh over the state of the world and watch the news and how horrible things are and just expect horrible outcomes and that we're old and decrepit as we age? May I remind you of the blue zones? And these are people that are in different areas of the world that live very healthy and happy to very late stages in life, very old ages. They're centenarians. And they're still chopping wood and running around and having a great life. So what's one of the commonalities? Social relationships, and these people know how to relax, de-stress, and connect. All right, I will leave you with that. This is even a little bit longer than I expected. But I hope you stay warm if you're in New England. I hope you're enjoying the weather if you're in the South. I hope you're all safe in Florida. And I'm sending you my best. I'll be back soon. Thanks, guys.